Court calls people of the state of Michigan versus Tanner Jack Warren, Warren. Excuse me. Today is Sunday, October 19th, 2025. It's 10:23 in the morning. I am Magistrate Stephanie Godsey with the 55th Judicial District Court for Ingham County. Mr. Warren is before the court to be arraigned. He appears via video conference from the Ingham County Jail. With that, Mr. and Ed, good morning. Your appearance, please.
Thank you, Anna. Good morning, George and Ed. APD on behalf of Tanner Warren for purposes of arraignment only. We are representing Mr. Warren only for, I am representing Mr. Warren only for arraignment today. He will be retaining his own counsel in this case.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, Mr. Warren, our court has before it a 3-count criminal complaint against you. That complaint alleges that on or about October 18th, 2025, at a location described as Marsh Road and Lake Lansing Road in the city of Hazlet, County of Ingham, and state of Michigan. Count 1 alleges the defendant did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Megan Heineman, a police officer of the Meridian Township Police Department that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing her duties. This is a felony offense that's punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $2,000 fine. Count 2 alleges the defendant, being the operator of a vehicle to whom was given a visual or audible signal by hand, voice, emergency light, or siren by Megan Heineman, a police officer who was in uniform, and the officer's vehicle was identified as an official police vehicle, acting in the lawful performance of her duty and directing the defendant to bring his vehicle, we think it's a motorcycle, to a stop, that the defendant thereafter did willfully fail to obey such direction by attempting to flee or elude the officer and increasing the speed of the motor vehicle. This is referred to as police officer fleeing in the 4th degree. It is also a felony punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $2,000 fine. Also, Secretary of State to suspend driving privileges. Finally, count 3 alleges the defendant did operate a vehicle, a motorcycle, upon Saginaw Highway while under the influence of alcoholic liquor and having an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more per 100 milliliters of blood and 210 liters of breath. Normally, operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail. However, take notice, the prosecuting attorney's office for Ingham County alleges defendant was previously convicted of operating while intoxicated causing serious injury on or about June 3rd of 2021 in the 35th Circuit Court. Therefore, upon conviction, defendant is subject to a penalty enhancement. In this case, it is still a misdemeanor offense, but it is now punishable by $200 to $1,000 in fines and 5 days to 1 year in jail or 30 to 90 days of community service or both. Also, rehabilitative programs, costs of prosecution, reimbursement of government for emergency response, and expenses for defendant's prosecution. Vehicle immobilization is mandatory unless the vehicle is ordered to be forfeited. A term of imprisonment imposed must not be suspended unless the defendant agrees to participate in a specialty court program and successfully completes the specialty court program. Mr. Warren, do you understand the charges the court's read to you and the maximum possible penalties?
I do.
All right, very well. The exam is demanded on Mr. Warren's behalf. I did make a note that he intends to retain counsel in this matter. You're scheduled to appear.
I do have a question about the license. My last offense, I had held the license until I was actually convicted of the crime. That is not the case this time.
I believe that Well, I mean, Secretary of State will let you know when it's all said and done and you get out of the jail, there's probably a 625G permit. You might remember that from your first drunk driving, where you get sort of a pink piece of paper that, for all intents and purposes, acts as your valid driver's license while it's pending. Right now, these are just allegations. So my understanding is that the Secretary of State would wait to see what adjudication happens, what happens in the case. Right now, these are just allegations against you and you're presumed to be innocent. But you can certainly talk more about that with your attorney. My understanding is you indicate you're planning on hiring an attorney.
Correct.
Yep. So those questions would be properly addressed to your attorney. I do think you would get like a paper permit, probably your driver's license, to the extent that that was obtained by the police during processing you into the jail. They might hold that or destroy that or whatever their process is, but that you should get a 625G permit, I believe. All right. You are scheduled to appear in person at the 55th District Court for a probable cause conference on Tuesday, October 28th at 8:30 in the morning. And then your preliminary examination is 1 week later on Tuesday, November 4th at 9:30 in the morning. Upon being released from the jail, you'll get some paperwork from the Ingham County Sheriff's deputies. Some of that paperwork's going to relate to your bond conditions, and then you'll also get a notice to appear that'll have those dates and times printed out, as well as our court's contact information. Our court's going to be really easy for you to find, Mr. Warren, because it's literally attached to the jail that you're in Mason. That's our courthouse. All right. Mr. Annette on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm asking the court to consider a reasonable bond in this matter. Mr. Warren is gainfully employed and has been for about 7 years now with Fast Eddie's as a manager. He's born and raised in Lansing. All his family ties are here. He does not plan on going anywhere. I think I could be mistaken, but the only thing on his criminal history that he reported was that prior OWI that was mentioned in the second offense notice. Other than that, Your Honor, Mr. Warren will abide by all court rules, will show up for court, and will be intending to hire his own attorney, which only shows that he's more inclined to show up to court. Your Honor, I believe flight risk is not going to be a factor issue in this case. I believe it's going to be only coming down to public safety, or in this case, potentially also Mr. Warren's public safety. I believe the court is inclined to add a scram tether. Other than that, Your Honor, I'd ask for a reasonable bond in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, some of the bond conditions that apply starting now, and like I said, you'll get a written copy of these. Because this is charged as a felony case, you are required to make a phone call to Ingham County Pretrial Services. Today's Sunday. I'm assuming that you're out of the jail sometime today. You've got 2 business days within which to call Ingham County Pretrial Services. You'll be provided a little brochure that has their information. You just call them. If you call them and you get voicemail, Mr. Warren, you must leave a voicemail message with your name and a good phone number. Additionally, the court is ordering what are called specialty court bond conditions. Essentially, it's a heightened form of supervision starting now, and while this case is pending, that requires you to come to the 55th District Court by no later than 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning, or by 10 a.m. the next day following your release from the jail. If you get out of the jail today, you must come to our court and be physically present there by 10 a.m. tomorrow. That's to go over your specialty court bond conditions. Of note in those specialty court bond conditions are that you are not to purchase, possess, or consume any alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana. You're required to submit to random drug and alcohol testing. You are not to be present in any place where you could buy an alcoholic drink for consumption. Those are now prohibited premises. Bars, restaurants, if they serve alcohol, anywhere you can buy an alcoholic drink is a place you cannot be. You'll be subject to arrest, subject to a bond violation hearing for being in any of those types of establishments. It also requires you to do questionnaires, assessments, report as directed, sign releases of information. Like I said, you'll go over all those particulars with one of our probation officers at the 55th District Court in person, and you must report by 10 a.m. If you get out today, by 10 a.m. tomorrow. If for whatever reason you don't get out until tomorrow, then it's by 10 a.m. that next day. Any questions about that? Okay. The court is also ordering that you're not to purchase or possess any dangerous weapons until further order of the court, so no firearms, no ammunition. The court is ordering that you will have to have a scram alcohol tether prior to being released from the jail. You indicated, Mr. Ned, that you don't think he's a flight risk, and, you know, it looks like he followed through on his prior case. I don't see any outstanding bench warrants for him, but what is alleged to have occurred in this case is a high-speed chase on a motorcycle where he crashed his motorcycle, kept riding it, resisted intensively, like an intense resisting situation that was pretty ongoing. And those are all allegations, but they are certainly concerning. It's going to be a $15,000, we'll make it cash surety or 10% bond. So he has all of the options available to him. That would be 1,500 of private funds, or you could use a bonding agency. Anything additional here, Mr. Ned?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Tanner?
Yes, so to pay the bond today with cash is $1,500.
Yes.
Okay.
And you would also need to get the scram alcohol tether. And there's probably
Okay.
going to be some cost associated with that. Certainly not 1,500, but there will be some cost associated with that as well. Okay. Anything else?
No,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ned. Mr. Lauren, you're all set. Take good care of yourself.
I'm gonna try my hardest. I need to get some help and I'm gonna do that.
All right. Sounds like a good plan, Mr. Tanner. All right, that's all on the record. Thank you again, Mr. Ned.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.